The Netherlands is a country that is tiny and one of the most densely populated countries in the world. This means that there is not much space and time for places to decay and be left alone. So usually these kind of places will be used within no time, but not in this case. In fact, there is a long-lasting fight between the Netherlands and Belgium because of it. This railway is found in the southern province of Limburg, and the abandoned part runs from the beautiful city of Roermond until the German border and runs through the nowadays national park, the Mijnweg, which is a stunning national park. You might think, why is there a fight? How does Belgium fit in with this railway, and why did the Netherlands decide to abandon it? Nearby the train station of Roermond there is the start of the IJzeren Rijn railway that runs towards the German border. This is the location of an international conflict that won't come to an end anytime soon, or perhaps never. In Belgium there are still daily trains from Antwerp to at least 700 meters from the Dutch border. And from the German town of Thalheim, which is roughly 900 meters from the Dutch border, there is an hourly train departing to Mönchengladbach, which is the final station of the IJzeren Rijn. Roughly 12 of the 162 kilometers long railway has not been in use for at least 30 years, which is the part between Roermond and the town of Vlodrop before it goes to the German border. But why isn't it in use, and why was the IJzeren Rijn created in the first place? And to get the exact answer to that we need to go back in time. In 1813 Belgium separated from the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. During the Belgian Revolution the entire region, except for Maastricht, chose to support Belgium in this matter, so they became part of Belgium, except for Maastricht. The Belgian Revolution came after the French Revolution and the fall of Napoleon, as at that time the German states and the United Kingdom had created a buffer zone to give the Belgian areas to the new Dutch kingdom, and Belgians didn't have any say in the matter. So Belgium separated from the Netherlands, and an official separation treaty was created and signed in 1839, which 1. Stated that the Netherlands recognized the independence of Belgium, and 2. That the Limburg region would be divided into two parts, Belgium Limburg and the Netherlands Limburg. And 3. Belgium got the right of a railway connection to Germany through the Netherlands, amongst others. In 1839 they didn't have any plans in Belgium to create a railway connection from Antwerp to the German Rhineland. But it was an agreement anyway. The first IJzeren Rijn, name of the railway, ran through the Maasdal and through the Ardennes, outside the Netherlands. And in Germany the railway connected to the line to the city of Cologne. Then in 1879 a new IJzeren Rijn was taken in use. The rail line Antwerpen, Herentals, Mol, Neerpelt, Weert, Roermond, Herkenbosch, Wegberg, Mönchengladbach. The Germans nicknamed the line the Baumwollebahn because a lot of cotton was transported via this line for the textile industry, and soon a second track was added. During the First World War, the Netherlands decided to close the IJzeren Rijn for German traffic, for obvious reasons, I'd say. But after the First World War, the relationship between the Netherlands and Belgium were disrupted due to the fact that the Netherlands made it difficult for Belgium trade to flourish via the railway. 1. They asked heavy transit fees, and 2. The Netherlands was neutral, so no transportation of weapons or military could cross through the Netherlands. Soon after the war, most of the second rail was removed, with the exception of the Roermond-Weert part. The IJzeren Rijn wasn't as important anymore, as the Germans created the southern railway from then occupied Belgium to Germany called the Monsenroute, which opened on the 15th of February 1917 for military traffic. From the 9th of October 1970, passengers could travel on line 24 as well. During the Second World War, the Netherlands got occupied by the Germans and the IJzeren Rijn was used as much as the Germans could. They even remade a double track. By the end of the war, the entire rail line was completely destroyed. But the British and the US Americans needed the line, so they made a double track again. After the war was finished, the Netherlands demolished the second track. The IJzeren Rijn railway was used until the 1990s a lot, and one of the main reasons was to transport trucks, because another railway was too low with its tunnels, so this was the best solution. Later on those tunnels were changed, and the route between Roermond and Dalheim has been closed since 1991. Now, more than 5 kilometers of the line has been part of the national park since the 1990s. National Park de Mijnweg. This national park is home to a very rare landscape in the Netherlands, a terraced landscape. The highest point is roughly 80 meters above normaal Amsterdam Peil, normal Amsterdam water height. This rare landscape has been shaped by the water of the rivers the Meuse in combination with fault lines in the earth that go through the national park. There's a height difference of 50 meters between the three terraces, and because a lot of nature restoration, nature is thriving again in the Mijnweg. From reptiles to mammals and from amphibians to birds, you can find small creeks, stretched out forests and heather fields and so much more here. The name Mijnweg comes from the Celtic word gemeine, which meant together or communal. It was the area where people had been living and working with the land for tens of thousands of years, as there is evidence that hunters from the Stone Age lived here 40,000 years ago. The first farmers came to the area in roughly 2000 BC. This is also when the first forests of the Mijnweg were lost. 3000 years later, in the Middle Ages, the first real settlements were created. But people eventually took more of the land than that they gave back, and eventually there was barely any forest left. Cutting down trees and overgrazing resulted in sand drifts. Later on, pine trees were grown here to 1. Keep the sand in place, and 2. Use them for firewood as they grow fast. Nowadays, pine trees are slowly removed from the area again to make place for a native species. Since the 2000s, the interest of the IJzeren Rijn has risen because of 1. Environmental issues, where trains are more environmentally friendly, with the massive exception that this train would run through a rare and important Dutch national park. 2. There are not enough truckers, so trains can carry more. 3. The normal roads are often congested and this doesn't happen as much with trains. And 4. The IJzeren Rijn has a flatter track, which makes freight trains with up to 1800 tons possible. And 5. The monsoon route is 50 kilometers longer, which makes the IJzeren Rijn more appealing. And so far, the Netherlands isn't in. The official reason is because the Mijnweg is one of our national parks, but other people say that the unofficial reason is because the harbour of Antwerp is a competitor of the harbour of Rotterdam. Now, research was done to check how nature would respond to the reopening of the IJzeren Rijn railway. Needless to say, the effects won't be good. The effects will be very negative for nature and for species that are still currently thriving in this area, but will be pushed away because of the reopening. Some examples. Badgers will be killed and divided due to placing 2 screens alongside the railway, and the southern population will die out. Without sound screens, they will die because of the trains. The sustainability of the current population of amphibians will also decrease rapidly due to the barriers. And these are just a few of the examples. Needless to say, my opinion is to leave it the way it is and let nature thrive. It's not like we have many places left for them to thrive, so let's protect the space that we still have. As of right now, I know that the Netherlands is collaborating with Belgium and Germany to discover whether a new rail connection from Antwerp to the rural region is possible somehow. Especially since the Netherlands refused to let it go through a national park as a way to protect nature. But the Permanent Court of Arbitration said the Belgian government was right. That's apparently how important nature is to them. Anyway, there is perhaps a new plan, which is when the IJzeren Rijn would run via the area of Venlo and not through the national park. Some people are also very skeptical about reopening this part of the railway due to geological reasons. The trains of today would be far too heavy to drive in this water, as there's quicksand and seepage water everywhere. Also, roughly 2 to 3 relatively small trains drove over this railway a day, and at that time the railway across the entire length of Roermond to Dalheim had to be checked every Monday to see whether everything was still okay because of the unstable soil. And later on, passenger trains were also going on this railway until shortly after the Second World War. And it is said that the Belgians want to drive 70 trains a day, each with a length of 700 meters and with a speed of 60 kilometers on this railway. But we'll have to wait and see. If you want to take a fun hike in the Netherlands, then this is one of them. The route is Roermond-Herkbos-Vlodrop. It's not great at a lot of places and very overgrown at some places, and there are no signs or something. It's all you. You can walk on or next to the rails, but sometimes you, or often, have to go around it too, but it's good fun.